Hello, my name is Lad Zohar with Making Space in Music, and today we'll be talking about cues. So cueing is something that I think is essential in your palette of conducting knowledge. And it's something that you should really recognize how to do and relies on left-hand, right-hand isolation the same way we did when we were working on our crescendo and decrescendo cues. Cues are a tool that are great for helping you communicate to the ensemble very specific ideas, whether it be the entrance of one independent section or just a very important unison note that the entire ensemble needs to play. So with that said, let's dive into a few simple cue exercises to work on our hand isolation. The first thing we'll do is recognize that our right hand will continue conducting the same way it would in a normal pattern consistently. The right hand will basically be the hand that is consistently going to give time regardless of whatever the left hand is going to do when it comes to those cues. So now what we're going to do is learn an exercise that's going to help us isolate our hands and also cue in each beat so that we can develop our ability to cue each beat independently. So the exercise will go as such. We will begin with a bar of 4/4, and then on beat 1 of the next bar, we will throw out a cue with our left hand. So this cue can be anything, but for the sake of right now, let's go ahead and just have our palm up on beat 1. So it'll look like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Then we'll conduct the rest of that bar of 4/4 with just the right hand, leaving the left hand where it is, and then we're gonna cue in the next bar on beat 2. So altogether, that'll look like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. And then if you haven't guessed already, we'll continue to 3 and then beat 4. So all together, the whole exercise will look like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. That last one's the trickiest one. At the end of that phrase, we'll add back a bar of 3. So we'll go 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And the way that you transition that is kind of, however it happens. The main purpose of this exercise is just to practice prepping and cueing on the correct beats. And if you haven't already picked up on it, I already said it, one of the most important things to landing a cue on time is prepping the cue on time. So if you're landing it on beat 1, that means that obviously we have to prep on 4 to land 1. But if the cue's on 2, we would prep on 1 to land on 2. On 3, we would prep 2 to land 3, and 4, we would prep 3 to land 4. That beat 4 cue is probably the hardest one because of how awkward it is to prep while doing a beat 3 articulation with that right hand, and then hitting the left hand coming down while the right hand comes up. So it's something to work on. But as we go through this, if you're finding yourself struggling, the first thing that you should do is recognize that that left hand needs to be able to do this at the very least. So putting on a metronome and just running the left hand part, counting it out loud, maybe going 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. And working on those preps and recognizing when those little moments happen is really gonna help you break down and perfect this exercise. From there, putting the 2 hands together is something that comes with time, and maybe just literally going beat by beat so that you can get a feel for what the prep and the articulation feels like and for each independent beat. With that said, once that exercise is starting to feel a little more comfortable, we can talk a little bit about hand shape. So when we're cueing, hand shape can really dictate what sort of note we're feeding the ensemble. If, let's say, the entire ensemble is playing one very fat quarter note for the duration of a beat and then nothing else the rest of the bar, maybe we would give a cue that looks a little something like, right? Something that's nice and firm and dictates that we have a nice unison pitch. You might cue lower for lower voices or higher for higher voices, depending on the way that you want to feed the ensemble information. Now from there, cues are something that are up to the imagination. Something that you may hear professional conductors talking about is actually taking advantage of all kinds of new and different cues to see if the ensemble reacts any differently. Now in a marching setting, it's not very conducive to change the way that you conduct something very frequently, but at the very least, taking advantage of recognizing that the ensemble could react differently to the way that you cue something can be something you take advantage of. And so, for example, if the note was very staccato and you use the pointed finger, that would be reacted to completely different than if you were to give them something low or whatever. And so the hand shapes are really up for your experimentation to learn and see what works best for you and what works best for your ensemble. So as far as exercises go, the exercise we learned earlier in this video is a huge tool in helping you isolate and place cues on independent beats regardless of what the right hand's doing. And the rest is really up to you. It is important to be creative and to experiment and enjoy the process of finding new cues and ways to teach your ensemble or to indicate to your ensemble how to play something. So with that said, my name is Elad Zohar, and I'll see you next time.